So began a battle that none had expected, and it was called the Battle of Five Armies, and it was very terrible. Upon one side were the goblins and the wild wolves, and upon the other were elves and men and dwarves. Welcome to another Mogsymakes video, this time set firmly in Middle-earth. We've opened today with the words of J.R.R. Tolkien from The Hobbit. I remember reading the book when I was a kid, and it really stuck with me along with the description of the Battle of Five Armies. It's funny, it's only about 10 pages long in the book, but it was so influential that I find myself revisiting it 40 years later. This game came about as a result really of two things. One was publishing Midgard Heroic Battles in 2024, which allowed us to play big games on an epic scale with minimal fuss at a wargame show. The other was meeting Simon Tofield. Simon and I had seen each other's work on the Wargaming in Middle-earth Facebook group, but we finally met at a show a few years ago. Simon is well known for having a huge collection of lovingly converted miniatures for Middle-earth. We both shared the enjoyment of the vision of Tolkien's writing in his artwork. And Simon records his miniatures work on the Mitten blog, which I've linked in the description below if you want to have a closer look at what he gets up to. Anyway, when I thought about doing the Battle of Five Armies as a game at a wargame show, he was the first person I contacted, and I was absolutely delighted when he agreed. Simon's collection provided about 2/3 of the 1,500 miniatures on the table, with the remainder being made up of mine, Paul Welsh, Dave Hunter, Martin Hogg and Sam Lancashire's armies. With Simon on board, I then needed to start thinking about the terrain. I remember copying Tolkien's illustrations for the Lonely Mountain when I was in school, so I just went straight back to the source material. The professor produced multiple views of the area around the Lonely Mountain in his work, which really helped out to flesh out the descriptions in the book. Rather than building a 3D representation of the mountain, which would have been difficult to transport and store, I went for a two-dimensional version instead based on Tolkien's drawings. This is a bit like a stage flat used in theatres, and the pieces break down and fold up to fit into the boot of a car. This was always going to be a seriously big game, so I needed some help with a scenario, which came in the form of Dave Hunter. As well as being an avid gamer and a member of the Midgard Heroic Battles playtest team, Dave is a huge Tolkien fan and was able to bring his encyclopedic knowledge of the professor to the long-expected party. Dave wrote a scenario breaking the action into chapters that we'd be able to play out as a game, as well as a detailed deployment diagram and an order of battle. You can see all of these on the Mogsymakes website, which I've linked in the description of the video below. Dave gamesmastered the first game at the Other Partizan in October 2024. Then we ran it again at Colours in 2025 with a slightly modified scenario. Both were exceptional fun to play and gave us a very close result, with the three peoples winning by a narrow margin in both cases. Midgard Heroic Battles uses a system of reputation to determine victory and defeat, which is represented by a goblet for each force of reputation tokens. You lose the tokens when troops die or flee, but you can gain them for heroic deeds, such as a hero leading a charge or fighting a single combat. And this is very much in line with the heroic leadership shown in Middle-earth by characters such as Thorin Oakenshield, so was absolutely ideal for this game. This has been an amazing project to bring to life. We've had a lot of favourable comments at shows, but the real reward has been seeing the game in action. It's been a dream come true, really, in many ways, to bring together Tolkien's world of artwork and his book in three-dimensional form and play an interactive game with it. It's been brilliant as well to utilise the Midgard rules to bring big playable Middle-earth battles to shows, and we've had a lot of interest as a result. While I've kind of managed the project, I need to say a huge thank you to Dave Hunter for writing the scenario and creating maps, and to Simon Tofield in particular for his immense input in terms of miniatures, and also the team of chums who contributed their figures and played the game. Without this support network, the game would be little more than a static diorama staffed by myself and one or two other people, so thank you guys for a really team effort. Obviously, please do like and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. I'd love to do some more Middle-earth content in the future, so like and subscribe and let me know what you think below. All the links I've mentioned in the video are also in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Goodbye.